Hello, everyone. I am Moria Bowman, a BEYA Stars and Stripes STEM ambassador, soon to be 12th grader from Gainesville, Florida. Today, we have a very special Career Day planned for you. We are taking a look back at some Career Day highlights. For the last 2 years, we have featured a variety of professionals in STEM career fields: educators, entrepreneurs, technology gurus, military professionals, and doctors have joined us to share their careers, exposing us to the ins and outs of their careers. We are also saying farewell to one of our original Career Day ambassadors, my co-host, Celia Hurst. Over to you, Celia.
Thanks, Moria. Hi, everyone. I'm Celia Hurst from Sarasota, Florida, and this is my last career day as a student ambassador. Next month, I'm heading to Florida State University to begin my college journey. Moria, I can't believe we started this journey almost 2 years ago, but I am so happy that I was able to be a part of this. Career Day is important to me and to so many of the young students because it gives us a glimpse into the career possibilities in our future. I remember when we featured Mr. Steve Poizner, the entrepreneur who invented the GPS for cell phones. I kind of couldn't believe that we were speaking directly to someone who has made such a huge impact on the technology that we use every day. Then we met the astronaut Charlie Bolden, the Disney inventor Lenny Smoot, and marine biologist Simone Barkley. These professionals took time out of their day to make sure we see very real possibilities in a career path.
Well, Celia, I agree with you. We have met quite a few amazing professionals, including Vice Admiral Andy Wins, our brand new BEYA Stars and Stripes chairman. We also have some great founders who made our Career Day program possible. Career Day was started by Lieutenant General Bruce Crawford, U.S. Navy retired, U.S. Army retired, and Vice Admiral Walt Davis, U.S. Navy retired. They are our Career Day chairmen and our chairman emeritus, and they serve as mentors to students and teens like you and I from all across the country. General Velma von Richardson provided ongoing support and guidance that helped us grow as Career Day hosts. Finally, Dr. Tyrone Taborn created STEM City USA. That is the 2D metaverse. That is the 2D metaverse platform where we host Career Day. We have heard a lot about the metaverse lately, and to know that we are a part of it is very exciting. Celia, would you like to share some info about STEM City USA?
Well, I would love to, but since we have access to one of the founders, I would like to welcome Dr. Tyrone Taborn, CEO of Career Communications Group and the brain behind STEM City USA. No one can talk about STEM City like Dr. Taborn. Dr. Taborn, would you please tell us about the STEM City vision?
Absolutely, Celia. And first of all, let me thank you for bringing so much energy and vision to this important platform. You know, I always say if you can't see it, you can't be it. And you have brought to so many young people knowledge about the possible. I often speak about what I call dream stealers. These are people who enter your life at a young age and take away your dreams. They don't provide the resources. They tell you what isn't possible. But you've shown what is possible. And you've made a difference in so many people's lives. And I'm just excited about the future that you will bring to so many as you continue your life journey. Let me tell you why being a student ambassador was so important. When I was your age, I did not necessarily cut down a cherry tree, and I didn't walk 7 miles to school every day, but I did participate in something very important. And that was a program in the Los Angeles City School System called Student News. And on a weekly basis, we would produce a live television show, news for students by students. And that made a tremendous difference in my life, in the journey that I have been fortunate enough to be on, which is bringing news and information and role models to so many of our youth throughout the world. Now, let me tell you about the metaverse, and I'll tell you about it in a place that's really amazing because I'm in Dubai, which is over 7,000 miles from you right now, and it's an 8-hour time difference. But back in 1960, this was no more than a village. And yet, if you come to Dubai today, it looks like something out of a science fiction movie. So much technology, so much innovation, so many people living a dream and doing so much being given to society. And it started with a vision, not 1,000 people, not millions of people, but it started with a vision of a handful of people here who made that happen. STEM City is our Dubai in the sky. It's our opportunity to make things happen, to bring resources, to excite youth, adults, and so many others about the possibility, the endless possibilities. So I would like to encourage everyone to continue to visit us here in STEM City, stemcityusa.com. Bring in as many others and spread the good word because as you have shown, the future is today. The possible is possible. And you are living proof of that. Godspeed on your journey. And I stand here to do everything that I can to help you be everything you are and to continue to be the wonderful human being that you are and to help you give back to society. God bless you. Take care.
Thank, thank you, Dr. Taborn. Now that we have your vision of STEM City, let's invite Lieutenant General Crawford to share about the importance of STEM today.
Well, Maria, thanks so much for the introduction. And thanks to all the ambassadors for the great examples of leadership and professionalism that you provide. So a couple of things today. First of all, I'm super jazzed and excited about just having the opportunity to participate in such a game-changing event like our BEYA Stars and Stripes Career Day. And we have come a long way, but the future is just so bright. And so I just wanted to say to everyone, thanks so much for your vision to include Doc Taborn. So a couple of things about today's event. First and foremost, the purpose. Why are we even here? It's really about exposing you to information that prepares you for college and for a future in science, technology, engineering, and math. So vital to our future growth, and you could argue vital to the competitive advantage actually of this great nation that we're all a part of. Science, technology, engineering, and math virtually touches every aspect of our lives, and that's only going to continue to grow. So our purpose here is about exposing you to that. The second piece, which is actually a little bit more important, and this is an opportunity for you to really understand, and Dr. Taborn said it much better than I could ever say it, but exposing you to the art of the possible, all right? An opportunity to hear from literally ordinary people who are doing extraordinary things to literally change the world. So you'll get an opportunity to hear from them. And so last but certainly not least, your questions ought to be, as you're listening to the presentations and the discussion, why not me? Because in my mind, what success looks like is 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the road that you're running a platform like the BEYA Stars and Stripes Career Day program. And so with that said, again, super excited about today's event and hearing from our speakers. And so back over to you to begin the conversation today. Thank you.
Thank you, Lieutenant General Crawford. Now it is time to introduce some new Career Day ambassadors. We are super excited to have 3 new co-hosts for our Career Day team. Joy, Hope, and Mimi are all in high school. They're super excited to join the team and continue this legacy. I will definitely miss this activity, but I know I am leaving my co-host Moria with a great group to continue to introduce and support our guest speakers for the future career days. Welcome to the team, Joy, Hope, and Mimi.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Of course.
Thank you
Joy,
so
I
much.
wanted to ask you, what are some things that you're looking forward to as a new student ambassador?
I'm looking forward to hearing all leaders of STEM just share their journey and share what they have accomplished and just learning from them, learning wisdom and how I can make myself better in STEM and how I can make myself better in life. Just how they had to go through adversity. I want to go through adversity too and come on top of it. And I want to learn through everybody. So that's what I'm looking forward to most with this program.
Thank you, Joy. And Hope, when did your interest for STEM first begin?
That's a great question. Ever since I was 7 years old, I was able to attend a conference called Women of Color. And at 7 years old, I was conditioned to learn that women of color are very successful and I can do anything I want to do. Some young people my age don't see women of color being as successful or don't get the chance to have the opportunity to see them be successful. And since I was able to do that at a young age, I would consider myself blessed, and it really inspired me to be on that stage one day and making a difference to society just like they're doing as we speak.
Yes, I can definitely remember when I was a little kid and I was first interested in STEM and introduced to it. And I remember thinking that engineering was so cool. But I remember seeing a lack of different women, and especially Black women. And now that I'm getting older and I'm experiencing these STEM career days, I'm able to see more people like me that have amazing careers in STEM.
Yes, so exciting.
I
I
can't wait to
know.
do that also.
And Mimi, I wanted to ask you, what are your hopes for continuing this program of STEM City Career Days?
I feel like for me, my hopes through this STEM Career Day and the program is to see how, through these career guests who are speaking, how it molded them and shaped them to the person that they are today. I find that through a person's backstory, it's very important to see that through their job, how it ties into their personalities and how it turned them into the person today. Thank you so much, Celia, for everything and the introduction.
Of
I appreciate
course.
it.
Thank you.
Well, hi, I'm Mimi from Leesburg, Virginia, and I'm ready to jump in. Let's welcome our guest speaker for Career Day. Commander Shaun E. Denis is a commanding officer of the USS STERETT Navy ship in San Diego, California. He is a native of Baltimore, Maryland. He attended Old Dominion University and earned a Bachelor of Science degree in Criminal Justice in 2003. Commander Denis also served as an assistant professor of naval science in Auburn Tuskegee University in Auburn, Alabama. Commander, take it away.
Hey, good morning from the West Coast. Thanks for the introduction there, Mimi. I am Shaun Denis. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. I joined the Navy right out of high school as an electrician's mate at 18 years old. And I served in the enlisted ranks for 11 years, and I applied for a commission with the dream of one day commanding my own ship. Doc said something a little while ago that resonates with me. If you can't see it, you can't be it. And I think I'm still here 30 years later wearing the uniform because I want those that look like me and those that are coming from similar backgrounds to know that if they put forth the work, that you too can do this. You too can sit in this seat, command a vessel, or whatever it is that you aspire to be. Ray, could you roll the film real quick? This is just a short clip showing my day-to-day life as a commanding officer. Commander Shaun Denis. I'm currently located in San Diego, California, on board USS STERETT, DDG 104, and I am the commanding officer. Coming from the inner city of Baltimore, I just wanted to get out of that situation. That was my reason for joining the Navy initially. But yeah, my goal was to just give it 4 years, build a foundation, and then go out into the working world and see what was out there. Along the way, I had a chief who really poured into and invested in me, and that kind of changed my opinion of what the Navy could offer. Cap Alpha Psi is all about achievement, and that kind of correlated to the same things that I tied to my Navy career. I wanted to achieve and I wanted to do great things in the Navy as well. I think the Navy can be very rewarding. You get out what you put in.
My name is Aaron Lewis III, Ensign United States Navy, and I'm currently serving as.
All right, so appreciate Ray for playing that short clip. And Kappa did sponsor the video, but it was supposed to show day-to-day life of a Kappa in the Navy in a leadership position. So a lot of folks are asking, and how much more time I'm going to do, and how much longer are you sticking around? Like the Lieutenant General, I'm over 30 years now, but I'm still having fun. I'm still enjoying the leadership aspect, the camaraderie of day-to-day life, and I'm still here for it. I'm standing by for any questions.
Thank you, Commander Davis. It was so exciting to hear all about your profession as a Navy ship commander. Hope and I would like to ask you a few questions.
Starting with, what do you enjoy most about your career?
Enjoy most about my career. It's leading sailors. I really enjoy, as I said earlier, when I sit in my office and young sailors walk by and they're just amazed to see. I'm not young anymore, but a black man sitting in that position, and it inspires them to know that they can do it too. That's what I enjoy most right now.
That is so nice to hear. What kind of preparations does it take to adjust to living on a ship every single day?
It's a mindset. It's just like any other job, except for the fact that it's 24/7 when you're on the ship and underway. However, like right now, we're in port. I'm just like anybody else. I go home at 5 o'clock each day, and I come back to work the next morning. So it's not a whole lot of difference unless you're actually preparing to do underway operations, where you got to kind of detach yourself from life as you may know it, from your family, and concentrate on the task at hand, which is getting that ship safely underway, out to sea to do its mission, and to bring everybody back home safely.
Wow, that sounds like a lot of responsibility, but very rewarding. I would like to also ask you, you graduated with a criminal justice degree. How did you transition from the educational background to commanding a ship?
So it wasn't hard. One thing about being an officer, and this is in any branch, I believe, is that what we look for is critical thinkers. So, and that's where the college background kind of comes into play with being an officer and earning a commission. It's just, you want to be critical thinkers and not just a doer, so to speak. And that's how the educational background helps with the actual job.
Are you glad you went through both?
Absolutely.
That's great.
I'd like to ask you another.
I'm sorry.
I'd like to ask another question. What education path would you recommend for anyone interested in commanding a ship to take?
There's no specific. You can get a degree in basket weaving and command a ship. That part, like I said, it's the critical thinking that goes into play. That and the experience itself. I do strongly push STEM degrees because I think, and this is my bias, that you just make better officers. They're better in the science and technology field, and that's where the world is going.
What keeps you motivated to do the best job you can every day?
My family. I have daughters. I have 5 daughters. That's who motivate me every day. Yeah.
You have any sons?
Say again?
Only daughters, just no sons?
No,
only
I have one son as well. No.
Oh, okay.
1.90% of the world's goods travel by sea. How do you become a ship captain?
Say it one more time. I'm sorry.
1.90% of the world's goods travel by sea. How do you become a ship's captain?
You have to. It's all about the preparation prior to, of course. You have to do well at your prior jobs, and your leadership has to have confidence in you that you will do well at this. It's not a given. I can tell you that. I have a lot of peers who I feel should have made it that didn't make it to this point. So yeah, it's all about getting or earning the confidence of your leadership to do well in this position.
You said something about earning the confidence to do leadership. Did anything that happened in your childhood shape you to become the leader you are today?
My childhood wasn't the greatest. I grew up in Baltimore and Baltimore, Maryland, and I grew up. My grandparents raised me. I lost my mom at a young age of 15, and I guess you could probably say that did inspire me to want to do more. And she died of a drug overdose, so that I knew I was not going down that route. So that was my inspiration there to not become a statistic and to do better in life.
That is so
inspirational.
Yes, that is so inspiring how you overcame your mother's death and wanting to keep going and not wanting to give up. Mentors are important. Please describe mentors that have shaped your career.
You said describe mentoring?
Yeah, describe a mentor that has shaped your career.
Oh, I spoke of him briefly in the video. So when I was a young E4 in the Navy, I had a chief. He was a chief petty officer, and I worked for him. And prior to that chief, I didn't really have anybody who I thought cared about me and my career or whatever. But this guy did, and it came across. It was really tough love, and I wasn't very receptive to it at first. I'd never had a man talk to me the way that he talked to me. Without, I was a little hothead back then, so without wanting to fight back or push back. So having a man talk to me that way and figuring out later that it was all for me, all of my best interest, meant a lot to me. This chief ended up being more than just my chief. He retired eventually in 1998, I believe he did. But even then, we kept our relationship so close. He was the best man at my wedding. He was my kid's godfather. He pinned me to lieutenant commander when I made lieutenant commander, and he passed away shortly thereafter. But his dreams live on through me. So.
Well, you said that he helped connect with you and push you. So how would you describe your relationship with some of the soldiers? You guys call them soldiers? Okay.
Sailors.
Soldiers that are under you and that you command.
In my position, I don't it's tough to go 1v1 with junior sailors as the captain of the ship. I don't want to be accused of favoritism or anything like that. But if I see a sailor that needs a little extra attention, I do engage. I think it's my job to engage. I have to. If I can save one, that's enough. You're not going to be able to save them all, but I do. You got to give tough love where it's needed.
The audience is loving your story, and they have some additional questions for you, such as if you could give advice to your younger high school self, what advice would you give?
Oh, younger high school self, to just don't quit. It's so easy to give up. It's harder to push forward and push through adversity. And I wasn't always that way when it came to thinking. But I would definitely give my younger high school self that advice.
You work with young people. Me and Hope are also a part of the Gen Z generation. How do you lead Gen Z?
So great question. I think, and I actually do operate this way. I think you have to meet them at their level. I can't expect either one of you to think the way I think.
Right.
But I think if I can meet you at your level, gain some common interests, gain some common bond, and then raise you up. That's the way I think, and that's the way I operate with Gen Z.
I really appreciate how you connect with them at our level. I think it's more personable and we can understand each other more, which is so important. I think that's a great leadership decision you're making to just connect with them. And I haven't heard that before. So that was really cool. We learned that leaders are lifelong learners. What book are you currently reading?
It's The Disappearance of Jimmy Hoffa is what I'm reading right now.
Is this a true story?
It's a true story. Yeah.
Okay, wow. I love movies and books like that. They're so edge of your seat type books.
Right.
Many people have a code switch as a leader. How are you able to bring your whole self to work?
Bring your whole self to work. So you said a code switch. I think a big part of playing in this role is actually code switching. I do something what we call NJP, non-judicial punishment. It's for sailors to get into trouble, where I do have to, I guess, go into character to actually facilitate that. I don't walk around with being mean or have an attitude all day, but at that moment where you're disciplining a sailor, you have to switch to that mode in order to do so. And then, and just as importantly, come back out of it, because nobody else needs to feel that wrath that you just had to deal with someone else.
Yeah.
I think that's
What is the hard? Oh, sorry, Hope. Go ahead.
I think that's a great trait to have, because in life you can't just hold on to things. You have to be able to move on, especially with working with coworkers or anything that might anybody that might offend you or something might happen. You have to have that professionalism to move on. I think that's a great thing. I'm still trying to learn too. What would you say is the hardest part of life at sea?
Missing your family, detaching from your family and missing your family is the toughest part. Whenever we go on deployment, whether it used to be 6 months, now it seems to be no shorter than 8. But when you're going out to sea and you're going to be gone for a while, normally the first 2 to 3 weeks is the toughest, and after that you just get into a routine where you're no longer thinking. I'm not going to say you don't think about back home, but you're so detached at that point and focused on the mission that it makes it a little easier. That, and then it's 2 weeks before you get back. That's when you're missing family again and ready to reunite.
What is the biggest life lesson being in the Navy has taught you?
Resilience is one of the biggest life lessons that I've learned here. Nobody's perfect. There's not a perfect day in the world. But it's all about bouncing back and how you gonna come back the next day.
That's great.
Another question that the public wants to be answered is, how important is physical fitness?
Very important. I would just say as for your own personal growth, it's very important. You got to find the time to take care of yourself, and even if it's just 30 minutes a day. Or 3 days a week, 30 minutes. You need that for yourself. And that's for clear thinking, your overall health in general. And it's very important.
Another question I have of my own is, physical fitness is very important, but mental health is also super important. How did you keep up your mental health at sea? And what tips would you give for teenagers like myself and my sister and I for mental health?
So mental health is very important, like you said. And one thing that I promote on board my ship is, don't be afraid to ask for help and don't be afraid to talk to someone. I'm there. I've spoken to a therapist, and if I feel the need to, I've got them on speed dial where I can reach out and call if I need someone to talk to. And we all do at some point.
Yeah, I think mental health is such a big thing, especially nowadays, as we have had hardships in life like COVID and everything. And I just think it's great that you're telling people, hey, it's okay to reach out and ask for help. You're not alone. You don't have to be alone.
Absolutely.
Accountability and responsibility are also important. How did you mature to become the leader that you are?
I'm not going to tell you it was easy. I remember being a department head where I was just in charge of a department on the ship, and it was weapons department at first. And then I remember the first time something went wrong in that department, and the captain at the time was, I'm not saying blaming me, but the captain was saying, Weps, you did this or you did that. And I'm thinking to myself, I didn't do it. One of my sailors did it. But that is on me because I own that department. Right. That was something that I had to it took some adjusting. And now in this position that I'm in now as the captain, everything is me. No matter what. Young sailor goes out and does something against the law, that's still me. They represent me. So
what's the most exciting thing you've seen at sea?
Most exciting thing I've seen at sea was probably rescuing refugees. Their boat was sinking, and they needed help, and just being there or being able to respond and lend that assistance was pretty exciting. And we also had a mission before where we had to take over a stolen vessel, a hijacked vessel. So that was pretty cool too.
That is literally, that should be in a movie. That is literally amazing.
That
It is
sounds
brave and amazing. What STEM skill do you need while aboard on ship?
Science and technology, you mean, or
Yeah, like specifically, so yeah, we know STEM is science, technology, engineering, mathematics.
right?
Which STEM skill out of those four do you think is most important while boarding a ship?
Science and technology, totally. I mean, everything that we're doing in the Navy and onboard ships and aircraft, um, it's all about advanced electronics and science these days. We're always trying to improve it and improve the science and technology, whether it's the GPS system that we're using, whether it's the weapon system, the radars. It's endless.
How do you keep your math skills sharp?
I was always really good at math, and I think I keep it sharp because my kids are always asking me questions. So they know to come to me and not mom with math questions.
I have a personal question.
Yep.
So you did mention refugees. Have you ever seen like a kid refugee or like a young one? And
Yes.
when you do see them, do you try to make them view you guys differently? Like try to inspire them?
No, not necessarily. I try not to have a personal attachment in
Hmm.
that situation. That can cloud your judgment and
Yeah,
the hand. So
I did not even think about it like that. But that is a good perspective of it because it also is going to have unhealthy attachments and everything. I do think it's brave though that you did save those refugees, and I just nice to them.
Speaking of kids, there are kids across the nation listening to this live stream as we speak. What advice would you give to the elementary and the middle school and the high school?
different levels, but they definitely everyone they need to stay focused. It's tougher for the elementary school students vice the middle school and high school. Middle school and high school is where it really gets critical that you're not playing games and that you're focused on your studies. And we preach that school's important, and it has to start early. Especially when you're competing for scholarships and so on and so on. I wish someone had told me that when I was younger and in high school. I probably would have went to college first instead of joining the military. But I have no regrets.
Right. So I'm an athlete, and I was wondering, I always know how athletes build good team bonding. And when you're aboard a ship, I feel like all the people on board, all the Navy sailors, they have to have a connection as a team. You guys do any like sports events to connect the team?
We do. We do all kinds of MWR, morale, welfare, recreation events to boost camaraderie and build that team building or connect that team building. We do command hikes. We play
Oh,
softball. We play volleyball. We play basketball. We do a lot. We've been in a maintenance period now. My ship has for quite a few months, which is downtime, so to speak, for the sailors. You're not going out to sea, so you have to fill that time with stuff like that.
wow, that's awesome. That's so cool.
Another question from the public: how important is it to be resourceful while in the ocean? And can you give us 4 examples, please?
Very important to be resourceful while you're out in open ocean because you are responsible for things for anything, any and everything out there. Um, one instance would be, let's say something goes wrong with our reverse osmosis machines. That's how we make water out there. One example would be, well, I put the ship on water hours where we're conserving or water, where you're only allowed to take a shower during this time or things like that. Um, and then when other things break or whatever breaks out there, we're responsible for fixing it. I have welders on board that can and do put things back together. I have a MR, machinery repairman, who can manufacture almost anything needed to fix things out there. And let's say we also do what is called I can't remember the name of the sleeping pattern that we use now, but it used to be we used to pride ourselves for some reason on staying awake. Who stays awake the longest? And that was a prideful thing. And no, it wasn't. It's not prideful. It's not prideful. It's it's counterintuitive, because the longer you're awake, the less attentive you are to things that are actually going on around you. So we actually implemented hours where it's mandatory that you're getting a certain amount of sleep per day. It's like a pilot, where pilots have got to have crew rest. Well, we do the same thing now.
I always love this quote, and it says, "Failure is a step closer to success." Can you tell me about a time when you failed at something and what you learned from it?
I'll give you. I had one really big challenge in command, um, and my ship spilled. We spilled fuel, about 15,000 gallons of fuel, and that's a lot in the bay. And it was really tough, as a CO to have to call my boss and tell him we just spilled fuel. It's like a huge black eye hanging over you. And it was not due to any fault of my own or engineering's own. It was broken equipment. However, that's still my fault. And I have to take that on board. So one thing, instead of hanging my head low, and it was a really bad and really long day. But the next morning, I remember getting up and going back into the job and thinking, hey, you can either hang your head and feel sorry for yourself, or you can get in there and lead, which is what the ship needs right now to bounce back from that. So, and I did. I stepped up and led in that situation. So.
A lot of these questions that we are asking you about, like, adversity, I've noticed a pattern that you're the one that makes it click. You tell yourself, you you talk to yourself, and you like get yourself together in your head. I think that's so cool. I think that's, like, at the end of the day, we're the ones who are going to make it click, and we're the ones that have to make that choice to keep pushing. And that's what I'm learning from you, that always I have the power to make myself go further. So I need to make sure I'm in the right headspace.
Absolutely. It starts with you. So.
Right. Another question we have from the public: what is your leadership philosophy? How do you share your visions with the people who you work with?
So I don't have a leadership philosophy. I don't have a published leadership philosophy. I don't do that for a reason, because I don't want to be tied to that. Things change, situations change every day. And once I write that down, or once I put that leadership philosophy on paper, I'm tied to that. And I don't like to be tied down to any one philosophy.
It actually sounds easier that you don't have a philosophy, because you can just be who you are and do what you would do. And I think that was a great answer.
Thank you.
I think one of the best things about being in the Navy, from as a person watching, is you have so many hardships, but you have to stay present. Like, they don't let you sink back and dwell on the hardships. You literally have to keep going and stay present. Was that it? Was that hard for you at any point, or did you just always just like stay present?
I'm not. It's not hard, but it's not something that I don't think about.
Mm-hmm.
I know I have to push through it. I know that the opportunity or I know that the moments are bigger than me, and that's the reason that I push through it.
Yeah, that's a great perspective.
I don't know if you can see, but we have some questions from the public on the screen now that are going to appear. Our co-host Mimi wants to be an engineer. Is there any advice you would give her?
If you want to be an engineer, be an engineer. Nothing's stopping you from doing that. Nothing will stop you but you. Study hard. Make sure that you stay up on your math and your science, and you'll be fine. I started out as an engineer in college, and then I quickly shifted to a sociology degree, only to get out of college a little quicker. I was an electrical engineer. Going through. I got my associates in electrical engineering, and then I shifted over to criminal justice to finish up quicker to get back get back out to the fleet.
Some people have some struggles when it comes to math, or when it comes to some different types of, it's science, technology, engineering, and math. So they might struggle with one of out of the four. So is there any advice you would give to anyone who struggles with one of the things in STEM? Should they still do it?
Absolutely, still do it. If that is your interest, you still do it, and you can't give up. Don't be afraid to ask for help. And you have to put in the time. And if you know it's a weaker area of yours, and you know it's going to require a little more time from you to actually get it. It's not something you can't do. It's going to take a little more work to get there. Can't be afraid of a little hard work.
Exactly. Outside of work, please describe how you spend your free time and give back to the community.
I'm sorry, say one more time.
Outside of work, please describe how you spend your free time and give back to the community.
My free time now, so I just got a puppy while I was out here in California. I got she's 15 weeks old now, German Shepherd puppy.
Oh my God.
Keeps me very busy when I'm not on a ship. I do a lot of mentoring sessions like this to give back. Right now out here, I go down to San Diego State and give back that way. Also, my fraternity is very active out here and doing the same thing. So we get out and about in the public.
That is amazing. Congrats on your puppy.
Thank you.
We have a final question from the public. CDR Shaun Denis, it is nice to see you on here. Thank you for your service. Please, other than what you do, how are you able to reach folks outside your circle of job to develop men like you?
I would say word of mouth. It has to come from, just like I'm here today. I had someone reach out to me and ask me, "Hey, can you do this for me on over a couple weeks ago?" Hey, absolutely. And being willing to step in and actually do it and give back. I have zero problem, and I know I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for someone that looked like me. So I make sure that I'm available for the same reasons.
That is awesome. That is so inspiring. And I love how you want to give back, and you know that it's more than just being in the Navy and on a ship. It's about inspiring people that look like you, even if they don't look like you. It's about inspiring people who came from less and that they can do it if they put their mind to it. All you have to do is just focus.
Absolutely.
We have asked you so many questions today. You've been so patient and great with responding to these questions. I have one more question for you.
Go for it.
Do you have mentees? And can you give some examples of success stories or stories that are not so successful?
Yes, I do have mentees. And let's see, I've had, I remember starting out as a young 01, brand new ensign, commissioned ensign in the Navy, and I was a young seaman, E3 on the bridge. And he was talking reckless to someone else senior to him. And I remember looking and asking him, "Hey, come here, let's talk." And he comes over and I asked him, "Who are you?" And he responded back with something derogatory. And that alone made me key in on him and want to pay him a little special attention. Well, that guy today he's still in the Navy. He's an E7 now. And we go 1v1 in every step of his career to get him to the next point. And it started with a negative conversation. So, but I'm his kid's godfather, very personal relationship. And it all started with negative conversation. We all need a mentor.
Great.
Mentors and advocates, very, very important. And I have junior mentors that I turn to because sometimes I'm not thinking on that level. So I'll turn to them and ask, "What do you think about this?" And just to get their input. And it changes. Sometimes it changes my mind and sometimes it doesn't. So
I think it's so great for you as a leader not to judge and to just want to help. And I just want to say, with our conversation we had today, I'm super inspired, and even inspired me to be a better leader on my basketball team and just in life in general. So thank you so much for today.
Thank you. Thank you.
I love how open-minded you are, and just how personable, and how you're undeniably just yourself. You don't try to do anything extra or anything less. You're just who you are. And I love the confidence you give off. It has been a pleasure to interview you today. And as me and Joy's first time being student ambassadors of the career day, it was great to start off with you. Is there
Thank
anything
you.
else?
Anyway.
Is there anything else you would like to share with the audience?
No, I'm honored to have been asked to actually fill in today, and it's been great listening and answering your questions. This is great. One thing about me is that I'm going to do it my way. So what you see is what you get.
Love that. Love
I
that.
love that. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time. And General Crawford, on to you.
No, thank you all. First of all, Commander Dennis, what a great example. And I think you've given our audience and you've given our young people probably the greatest gift that you can give, and that's a gift of a good example in what right looks like. So thank you for that. I want to say to Hope and Joy, I got to tell you, I was so inspired. I'm so impressed with your energy and your passion. I think you've both given us hope. And I think it's safe to say you've both brought us joy today. So thank you. Your maiden voyage was very successful. I want to take the opportunity before I wrap up here to say one more time to Celia, we're really, really going to miss you. You're going to look back one day, I think, on your time spent here with this team is probably one of the things that inspired your growth. And one of the things that experiences that informed your thinking as you go on to do great things for the nation. So I just wanted to take the opportunity to really thank you for your professionalism. You've added so much to this team. So thank you so much, and great luck, good luck and Godspeed on what I'm sure is going to be a very successful journey. In terms of the wrap up, we heard so many inspiring things from Commander Dennis, but a couple that I wanted to point out. He talked about doing well where you are. I call that grow wherever you are planted, regardless of what position you and job you end up in life. Do the best that you can because you never know who's watching. So he talked about doing well where you are. He talked about overcoming adversity, resiliency, and the importance of that. Absolutely, you're going to fall down. But do you have the intestinal fortitude, the confidence in yourself to get out? Because you're going to fall down in life. But the fundamental difference between those who move on and do well and those who don't is, are you willing to get up and continue to move forward? So he talked about overcoming adversity. He also hit on mentorship. He talked about his mentors and how they inspired him, but more importantly, how they challenged him to be better than he ever thought that he could be. He and I had that in common, because I also had mentors who inspired me and who challenged me because they saw something in me that I didn't see in myself at that time. And then the last couple of things, he talked about fitness, and that's the importance of physical fitness, but also mental fitness and spiritual fitness. And last but not least, he talked about the importance of accountability and responsibility. When you're responsible for people, responsible for their lives, and you've been given a task. You're either in charge in the leadership position or you're not in charge. All right. You can't sometimes be in charge. If you're responsible, you always got to be in charge. All right. And so, again, great wrap up, another phenomenal session. And so back over to you, Celia. Thanks so much for the opportunity to participate.
Thank you, General Crawford, and thank you so much to Commander Shaun Dennis, and I hope that all of you were inspired by him, the Navy captain of the USS STERETT. Commander Dennis, thank you for your service to our nation and participation as our Career Day speaker. We also have a very special thanks to our Career Day sponsor, Lockheed Martin. They are known for their groundbreaking work in aerospace, arms, defense, information security, and technology all around the world. Please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay tuned to receive more great information. I'm officially signing off. Thank you.
What if you could build your own city? A place where every child can find nurturing people to help them achieve their full potential. A place where every adult can access job training support, where health education is abundant, where social justice ruled the land, a place without limitations. Welcome. You have arrived at STEM City, USA. It is what every city should be, a safe and trusted community where you find people and resources to help you become everything you are and beyond. STEM City is unlike anything you have ever experienced. It is a digital twin of the world around you, only better. STEM City is about energy and soul renewal. It is more than a digital world. You can almost feel the power of live cultural events, music, and theater. STEM City promises a better future for children with caring mentors and hands-on activities with dedicated tutors to support our youth. STEM City is your passport to a healthy lifestyle with weekly events addressing our community's many issues. STEM City is your financial well-being with helpful information on wealth management, career advancement, job training, and so much more. STEM City is the community you deserve. It is the city where your dreams can come true. STEM City USA, a place in the sky that is accessible to all who reach for the stars.